Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Pandora, or SoundCloud. You can also keep up with us and all that is going on in Greensboro city government and beyond. I'm your host, Rodney Dawson. Very happy to be here, and a special thank you to everyone for taking the time to tune in to Talk City. And today is a special day, because if you look on the opposite side of me, you'll see my good friend Beth Sheffield. And for the past 25 years, Beth has been the adult programming coordinator and readers advisory specialist. How did you start out?
At the Greensboro Public Library. So I started out as the popular materials specialist at Central Library. And I said, there are no unpopular materials in the library, I don't think. But what that is bestsellers.
Okay.
And long, long ago, the Greensboro Public Library actually had a bestseller section, and people could rent the books for $1 for the bestsellers to get on. They had a service that you could actually rent the books for $1, and have moved and grown with the times, I guess.
And so, how long have you served as the adult programming coordinator?
Since about 2010 or so. Yes.
So do they still have a popular material? How'd you say it?
Popular materials librarian.
Do they still?
It's still me. It's because I've ordered fiction books from day one for the library system. So
after popular materials,
yes.
What was after that?
What was after that? Well, we started One City, One Book in 2002, and had a role with that with Steve Summerford and Sandy Neerman and everything. So I was kind of and Gail Greenlee, who was there on the sort of the ground floor of One City, One Book. So we started One City, One Book, and started that initiative that runs every other year for our city, where we want the whole city to read the same book. And so that kind of came in. I raised, you know how it is, you raise your hand and say, I will help with this project.
Okay.
And off we went.
And that's kind of how you are today. So is that how you kind of moved along in your career? You just, where you saw a need, you went to fulfill it? And
With advice from my supervisors and everything. If there was a need, we tried to fill it, yes.
All right. And I want to talk about your matriculation, but you touched on something I want to jump on now, because I'll probably forget. One City, One Book, a lot of us know about it.
Yes.
It's well known in the city. And it's been going on, eight, how many years?
20.
20. 23 years, man.
2002 was our first year.
Okay, 23 years. Why was it started? What was the need? What were you trying to fulfill?
So there was a trend in libraries across the country. Multnomah Library in Washington State and Chicago Library had started community reads. We in Greensboro started ours. I think they started like in 2000, 2001. We started ours in 2002. But we've always done it a little differently, where it is based on what the community, what's topical within our community. In other words, we don't just pick, like in Chicago, they just pick a Chicago-born author or like a local author to be the One City, One Book. We're more intentional about it. And I think that goes back to the roots of Greensboro with our heritage and our commitment to civil rights and even the Quakers and building consensus in our community. So we've always taken our One City, One Book, and it started kind of small, but not really small. Irma Thomas was here first year, who was a well-known character actor. We did A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest Gaines. We had the former Triad Stage. We did a play, stage production with, like I said, Irma Thomas was here, and she was phenomenal. You had 700 people in the rotunda at the library. to watch a preview. It was Triad Stage was new at the time.
Okay.
So we were off and running with One City, One Book.
You started rolling off some names. Give me some more, or let me put you on the spot. Who was, I don't want to say who was your favorite, but give me a moment that stood out with a One City, One Book author that visited.
I think it was 2017, and that book was Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, because it really highlighted unknown history.
Right.
And that everyone's story is there to shine. And we did fun things like have a 50s, 60s fashion show at the library. We got talking, we found out there was actually a woman who was a hidden figure in our community.
Right.
I cannot remember her name. Shirley?
I can't recall, but I
You know-
actually
you know-
met her. She
yes.
came to the museum when
Yes, phenomenal. You know, we have our own hidden history here, which was pretty cool. And, Margot Lee Shetterly did a phenomenal event. We did it in Dana Auditorium on the Guilford College campus. And at the time, the book was relatively new, so it was a win-win. She sold a lot of books at the program. We had a phenomenal event. We did music events. We did a film series. There were a lot of read-alikes about STEM and STEAM. And we got a lot of youth involved in that project, too. So I think that was one of the highlights for One City, One Book. And that was our largest community participation. GTCC has been a community partner almost from the beginning with One City, One Book, and they chose that book as their all-campus read. So, and UNCG has also assisted us over the year. Oh, and we had an astronaut. We had an astronaut come, and I'm blanking on his name right now, but he came as part of that project. That was our goal with the steering committee at the beginning. Let's get an astronaut to come, and we did.
Right. We started our relationship when I was working at the museum.
Yes.
Talk to us about why history in the library, the museum falls under the libraries department for the city.
Yes.
But why does history and the library go together so well?
Well, it's lifelong learning. It's the commitment to serving Greensboro and I think fair and accurate information, to really kind of deep dive into our history. That's the thing. Some of the programming that the museum is doing is amazing. It's innovative. It's spotlighting, all aspects of our community, and we try to do that at the library with our programming. So a lot of our programming is aligned, and also a lot of the program at the museum, the people will have a book.
Right.
So it's a win-win. It's a great partnership.
I'm trying to think of the author's name that we had dinner with. Remember he came, he wrote the book, The Best of Enemies, that they turned into a movie.
Yes.
Starring Taraji P. Henson. And,
Yes.
What's
Yes.
the guy's name? Taraji P. Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
Remember that Best of Enemies? And what was the author's name? We all had dinner with him.
Yes. He's escaping me right now.
Yeah,
I can see the book. He lives in Arizona.
Right. I was in
But-
Phoenix, and he told me to check him out.
Yes.
And
the great thing about that book, so that book is about Durham in the 70s and the school system. And there was a Ku Klux Klan Grand Dragon and a woman activist who were kind of at odds with each other about integration of the schools. And then there was a gentleman who came up with the concept of Surrettes, where you would sit across the table like we're doing now. but you could talk about anything but the subject that you had the conflict over. So we could talk about family, we could talk about what we had for dinner, and the movie and the book and the movie, The Best of Enemies book, and his name will
OSHA Gray Davidson.
OSHA
Found
Gray,
it.
thank
Yeah,
you, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yes,
I
yes, yeah,
found
yeah.
it.
Thank you, OSHA. Yeah, he, the book really talks about like community coming together, and that was with Born a Crime. We actually did that book with that book as part of our Born a Crime One City One book.
Remember the group, the singing group?
Oh, Sweet Honey in the Rock.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
And that was over on Guilford College, on the
Yes,
campus of Guilford
yes,
College.
yes,
What
yeah.
about that event? Remember that was
Oh,
like 2
yes.
years ago?
Well, that too was maybe about 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
But it was one we actually tried to get them before COVID. And we were working. See, that's the other thing. When you're working, as I do now with major programs, people don't realize that, I've worked on events 5 years out with an author that kind of, it's like, we really want you to come to Greensboro. When is your next book coming out? Well, I'm working on it now. It might be 2 or 3 years. So you have to work well in advance. And we had the contract signed, ready, signed, sealed, delivered, and then COVID hit. And so we had to delay their performance until after COVID.
When you're working in adult programming or any type of programming for any group, any demographic, you want to engage them. So that's going to you can't do the same thing over and over again. You have to mix it up, which you've done so well. But for those that were thinking about Sweet Honey in the Rock, a
Yes.
wonderful group. If you're not familiar with them, Google.
Yes.
They've
been around 70 years.
Okay.
And it's amazing that, we're moving into Black History Month because their history is amazing. Yeah.
And the point I'm making is, if I'm thinking libraries, I'm generally not thinking music. So how did that come about? How did that process come about? Let's bring this music group.
Well, that was a library foundation event. And I think that's one of the things I'd like our public to know is that the Library Foundation supports the programming at the public library.
Okay.
That the city of Greensboro provides the staff, the buildings, but the supplies and the honoraria for authors, for anything that we do, comes from the Library Foundation. And Sweet Honey in the Rock, before COVID, the museum had a series called, was it We the People, or it was...
Was it before that?
I did Greensboro Learning Circles as part of the communication grant, and the museum did sort of a citizenship, sort of Surrettes, like when they were talking, the listening sessions that were being done at the museum. And it might have been, there was an exhibit at the museum, and the theme of Sweet Honey in the Rock and their social justice work fit in to it. And there was another author that a co-written book. The author was from two women about women and civic engagement that we had. I can't think of the name of the book too, but it was about getting active in your community. And that's something that Sweet Honey in the Rock empowers with their music. So it was kind of part of a series, but it was supposed to be before COVID. But we wanted to have them come to our community because they are such a phenomenal group.
They are indeed. We're sitting here with Beth Sheffield. She's coming to the end of an era, 25 years. She served with the city of Greensboro in the Greensboro Public Library system. And you've seen a lot of people, come and go, and a lot of people that retired before yourself.
Yes.
And not necessarily all those that retired, but some that just kind of came through. But talk to us about some of the lasting impressions you've had with folks that you've worked with.
I think the commitment to service with the city of Greensboro, I can go back to when I worked on the United Way campaign early on, and also worked with, it's a city-county campaign, so I worked with some, like people in the county sheriff's department and everything. And I think that's what I'd like the public to know is we're really committed to like serving the Greensboro public. And lifelong learning is something I've always done and will always do. And helping our community just helping our community.
You mentioned earlier you were talking about your next chapter.
Yes.
I probably brought it up, but you alluded to it. And I see Sheffield Global Consultants.
Yes.
Or SGC.
Yes.
Nice logo, nice colors.
Yes.
So you're taking a lot of the skills that you learn and
Yes.
putting it to work for yourself.
Yes.
What's going on here? What's
So-
Sheffield Global Consultants all about?
I have always been the global librarian, so
What does that mean? I know global means world, but break it down for me.
So I have volunteered with an organization locally called North Carolina Global Leadership, nationally called Global Ties US. It works with the State Department to bring international visitors to our country and visit the 4 quadrants of the United States, too small and too large, and just learn and kind of do job-alikes and learn about the United States. I started this when I had exchange students in 1994 as a home host for just having them over for dinner. And that's been my role primarily. In 2023, I did some contract work for North Carolina Global Leadership, some admin work, some administration work for them. But I've always been internationally minded with local service.
Okay.
Edward R. Murrow, one of our
From
Greensboro,
right.
one of our Greensboro
Go to the History
natives.
Museum, you can learn about them.
Yes, has a saying that diplomacy. I'm going to get the quote wrong, but diplomacy starts and ends with the last 3 feet. And what that means is when we have a conversation, when we're 3 feet apart, when we can shake hands, that's when diplomacy and change can happen. So, we just did hometown diplomacy. We've had things called parlor jams and simple suppers, for a delegation from Saudi Arabia, from, people from ASEAN, which is the NATO in the Pacific Rim. It's been an education for my son and his friends. I remember when they were young, and we were sitting on our porch and had someone from Kenya, from Nairobi, say we couldn't sit on our front porch because someone might come by and strafe us with gunfire on a middle-class front porch in our country. We have to have walled compounds on our street in a middle-class neighborhood. And this is, it was a middle-class administrator. Says we can't sit there. And then you realize how good you have it in the U.S. And it also opened the eyes for the students for the world.
Was that the same program that brought the journalists from Brazil?
Yes.
We still got to get over there to see them.
We do.
But that was fun. That was really nice. I remember it was during COVID, and one of the journalists, this was one of their quadrant stops, and one of the journalists had COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was actually their interpreter.
Okay, then.
There was their interpreter had COVID and had to be
Stay
quarantined and
right.
stay in Greensboro and had to stay in the hotel room. And we brought goodie baskets and kind of left him at the door and made sure he was okay.
Yeah, I remember you telling us my wife made something, but just that kind of heart that we're going to miss.
Yes.
With you moving forward, but we can still pick it up at Sheffield Global Consultants, and then the creativity that you brought to the position.
Thank you.
And we don't have time now, but I should have asked you. Maybe it's a part 2. Are you set up to bring someone in to replace you or keep the work going?
One City, One Book will keep going, and Bridget Blanton, our library
Right.
director, is taking the lead on finding someone for that next chapter.
All right. And Sheffield Global Consultants, anything on the horizon? Anything we got? I know you do strategic planning. You mentioned the project management, literary services.
Yes, helping creatives thrive is my mission.
Helping creatives. So how do you do that?
So, since as the mother of a drummer,
Uh-huh.
I have a special place for artists and musicians and authors.
Now, you said you could help me finish my dissertation.
I can
So you do that too?
I can help with some of the logistics and planning and helping with the structure of
Okay.
of let's get this done. Let's
Okay.
get this done. We're going to make that happen, Rodney.
And community engagement.
Yes. So, yeah.
So you got your hands full.
Yeah. Next chapter's coming right up. So
And
I'm excited.
And I'm sure we're going to still see you around different events.
Oh yes. And North Carolina Folk Festival is always marked out on the calendar already for
Getting
2026.
bigger and better every year.
And there might
Jody's
be
doing a good job.
there might be a little pre-conference something in the works.
Okay.
I'm not going to say more now. Just a little hint. So.
All right. Well, Beth, thank you for 25 years of service for the city of Greensboro, and thank you for your many appearances on Talk City Greensboro.
Thank
And,
you. Thank you.
I know, I'll still connect with you, but you'll be missed,
Aw, thank you.
and your work is much appreciated.
Thank you.
And you know what? I also want to appreciate how you're like me. We have a sense of obligation when it comes to helping us get the narrative out for traditionally marginalized, underrepresented,
Yes.
undervalued communities. And so whenever I had a project, I always knew it was going to get support from you, and because that's the work that's who you are.
Thank you.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think all of our citizens all have something to contribute to programming, and it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. It's been a great pleasure. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Beth Sheffield, she's saying goodbye to the city of Greensboro, and she will be missed, as we've talked about. I'm thinking about that time we had those folks from Brazil. My daughter was there. We were sitting at, was it Hayes Taylor? Was it Hayes Taylor YMCA? Oh, that Bryan Park? No, Barber Park.
Barber Park.
Barber Park. All that music was going. It was a great time. Ice cream, Anyway, memories coming back.
Yes, yeah.
But listeners, stay tuned in weekly to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Pandora, and don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud. That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is also available on Spectrum Channel 13, AT&T U-verse Channel 99, and Lumos 31. GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website at greensboro-nc.gov.